Welcome to Valaction Continuous Improvement's overview presentation on quality. I am Jeff Hajek, the owner and founder of Valaction. Let's start out by covering a few of our main goals for this presentation. First off, I'd like to cover a more detailed definition of quality, which would include the various ways it can be viewed. Second, I would like to talk about how quality can be quantified. And finally, and most importantly, I will talk about general philosophies for improving quality. When I say quality, most of you will immediately think of a specific way of interpreting that. Some of you will think of grade. This is the difference between top-of-the-line models and economy classes. It's Mercedes versus Hyundai. This form of quality is based heavily on reputation. The reputation may be based on fact, but because it is a perception, the grade of a particular product can change even if the product itself remains constant. The second way you may have thought of quality is in terms of application. We often think of something as being a quality product based on how well it solves our problem. Obviously, a pickup truck is more suited to hauling mulch than a luxury sedan would be. But we also tend to assign quality based on how well an item performs. A top-of-the-line smartphone with a short battery life will take a quality hit. When asked about how you thought about quality earlier, most of you probably thought of this last category. Conformance to spec simply means that the product is built as intended. It is worth mentioning that there is a potential for conflict between companies and customers in this area. A company may build a product 100% in accordance with its plan, but it still may not meet the expectations of the customer. This is often a result of inflated marketing expectations. Think of the old-time ads in the back of comic books. Kids thought they were getting some magical city of sea monkeys. What was really shipped was far different. That product, however, probably was packaged according to plan. The point? Even if the manufacturing side of the company does everything exactly right, customers will still hold you accountable for meeting the published specs. There is a great deal of overlap and influence between these categories of quality. A short battery life, if the customers expect that short battery life, will be an application failing. If the short battery life does not match what the company publishes about its phone and its marketing materials, or if the battery does not meet its design specs from the vendors, it is a problem with the conformance to spec. Regardless of the source, that short battery life will tarnish the reputation of the product, lowering the perception of grade. This seems like a fairly straightforward question. Most people will jump to one or even several reasons that quality is important. Most of these will be traceable to the bottom line. Poor quality impacts profit. Higher quality often means you can charge more and also sell more. But even in cases where quality does not increase sales, there is still a financial impact. That is because there is a cost to poor quality. The cost of poor quality is the aggregate of all the resources a company spends to make things right when they mess something up. Obviously, if there is a cost to poor quality, there is also a benefit to good quality. We often think of quality as being expensive. In truth, though, good quality generally speeds up processes. Poor quality makes people tentative about the components they are using, which results in more checking and testing. If you have faith in the parts and processes you are using, you can generally fly through your work. There is also a big benefit to eliminating friction between employees. Think of most conflicts on the job. I'm not talking about personality issues or simply not liking each other. I am talking about issues where one person is at odds with another over work that was performed. A person working in a downstream process may become frustrated when he has to continuously deal with defects in the work he receives from an upstream process. Lean organizations thrive on teamwork. That teamwork is hard to establish when leadership allows poor quality to be passed on. When I say cost of poor quality, several things probably immediately come to mind. Things like rework, inspections, scrap, and additional materials to compensate for problems are all obvious costs that come from not doing things right the first time. But there's also a slew of other problems that come from quality issues. Marketing gets harder when you develop a reputation for poor quality. Production teams have to set up entire systems to deal with recurring issues. Workers across the company spend their valuable time managing problems. This often requires numerous meetings and other forms of communication to resolve issues. The customer service team becomes inflated. Shipping delays require expensive expedited shipping to compensate. Teams become stressed out dealing with problems and the associated conflicts that result in low morale and an increase in the management oversight that comes from a team that is not working together well. The point of this slide is to highlight the pervasiveness of the costs that come from not doing things right the first time.